South Carolina owns, a couple of the best wins in our league. The win over Clemson, and a win at Kentucky. And, really with the exception of maybe, the home loss to Ole Miss, been right there. So, we obviously respected our opponent, played well early, which you have to do. Our starters did a really good job. Give South Carolina credit. They never quit. They scored 44 points against what's been a pretty good offensive defense. Our defense wasn't very good, but give South Carolina credit. Gigi and I know each other from the recruiting time, and had he not reclassified, I think Auburn was going to be an option for him. And so, great kid, great family, happy for him that he played well. But proud of our guys, with the exception of maybe at Georgia, which is not an easy place, right? Our guys have, take care of business, and it's 3 road wins so far for us. We all recognize, though, that the schedule toughens starting next week.
I'm going to take some Zoom questions first.
This is for Janai. Was opening 2 dunks. How big were they to get you and this team jump started today?
It was good. I'll speak first about the team. We like to start off early and put the pressure on them. We worked on those looks in practice, and it was good to see those looks go in. And then from my standpoint, I've had a couple rough games, so it was good to just get going early. Coach make a good play calls, get me going.
And 46 points in the paint. What was it about their defense inside that allowed you guys to succeed?
Leading coming into the game, we knew that a lot of play was going to work for the short rolls and the late at the rim. So that's what we did. You saw Wynn have 13, 12 assists. He was doing a great job passing the ball and looking guys off, making the right play.
And lastly, for John Zoom, how much of the boost the entire team's confidence when Wendell was seeing the floor like that you mentioned, and just good passes keep coming your way?
It boosted the whole team confidence. He had 12 assists. Wynn is a special point guard. Everybody knows he can score, but I think his passing a little bit underrated, and he proved tonight.
Janai, second half, what do you kind of attribute the defense, kind of not being as good as it was in the first half?
I feel like we got a little stagnant. We was a little late to spots. We didn't jump out and forced them to take tougher shots. We fouled a little too much. It's like 19 free throws second half. So we need to cut that down. They doubled their points in the second half. So just defensively coming at a halftime, we got to be able to get a couple more stops.
Bruce, in the first half, you guys seem to be settling for a lot of the threes instead of going back inside to Janai. Just how did you get out of that run and kind of put on that 12-3 run to end the first half?
I'm 62 years old. I don't remember what happened the last 5 minutes of the game, let alone when did you want me to comment on
At the end of the first half.
I thought we had good defense. I thought we made some offense on our defense. We got spacing, got a little inside out, looked apart, right? Mixed in some transition with some half court stuff. And, but when you hold South Carolina 22 points and you shoot 57% yourself, that's the formula for a good lead. We just didn't maintain that, and to give South Carolina credit.
Bruce, 2 wins this week on the road back-to-back by 15 plus points in the SEC. It's first time that's been done for Auburn since 1966. How huge was this week for your team to kind of get it going on the road? Because that's been something that you've talked about a lot.
Well, played well early both times. I honestly think the experience of Chennai's 3rd year, Al's 4th year, Jalen's 4th year, Zep's 7th year. And don't underestimate the importance of a guy like Zep Jasper, and Zep just plays such great defense and is so unselfish and defends without fouling, picked up a big charge early. He makes us better, and then him out there on the floor, it's more for him and more for Al and more for Wendell, more for Jalen.
Over to get to the tournament. as you look at Lamont and the job he's inherited now with South Carolina, just the job you've seen him do so far, and how hard is it to build a program, especially in an SEC that's been very good?
It's hard in this league, because just look up and down the league. There's so many great coaches and great staffs, guys that are working really hard. And it was you like the thing I would resonate with me is, he's got a couple of huge wins. He'll get a couple more, and that's something you can hang your hat on. For me, my first year, we beat Xavier in a non-conference game we never ever should have. We go to the SEC tournament and win 3 games and wind up playing on a Saturday with a team that really was almost a junior varsity club. The second year, we weren't that good. Weren't very good the second year, but we did beat Kentucky. We did it. We had a couple of big, kids were, and then by year 3, we finally won like 18 or so, and you could just sort of tell it took us a few years. And so folks need to stay patient. He's got a great staff. He does a great job. Obviously, he's able to recruit and really good person. And he's got a great background, great coaching family tree.
A couple on the Zoom for Coach. How did you like the response the team had once South Carolina got it within 10 in that second half?
It was a good response. Wendell had a lot to do with it, making shots, making plays. I thought the play of Alan Flanagan will go tremendously unnoticed. Like Al was once again our best defensive rebounder. Al was once again our best defender. He hardly ever got stuck, and he continues to just stay patient offensively, and unselfish. I mean, he plays again without a turnover. I mean, that's just him buying in, and what a great competitor. He deserves a lot of credit for that.
Last question.
How encouraging was it to see Johan find some aggressiveness, his 6 attempts and more he had in the past 5 games combined?
Yo's had a couple of good practices. He absolutely has stayed the course. Those shots in the corner, it's kind of his corner. I'll tell you, when they're just shooting around, you don't want to go at Yo in that corner. That's his spot. So not that I'm giving a scouting report out, but I mean, I was glad to see it. And look, let me just tell you something. Look at, with the exception of your G.G. Jacksons and great player at Alabama and the great players, the great freshmen, your really good freshmen, guys that are ranked between 25 and 100, man, that's hard in a Power 5 conference. It's hard. And so guys like Trey Donaldson, Chance Westry, Johan Trey are all really good players, all going to be great players. But it's hard for them in Power 5 to make huge impacts. So it's great to see him stay right and stay ready.